Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Policy Genius.
Hi guys, and welcome back. Today is a very exciting day. It is a culmination of the past 7 months. Today we are finishing the tiny home.
The whole thing. All of it. Like, in its entirety.
The whole thing. So it's very exciting to get this wrapped up because when we moved out here 8 months ago, we had a plan of building the tiny home to live in, but also developing our entire homestead, which we really need to get to work on. And we have an entire house to build. So now that we're wrapping up the tiny home, we can start planning for our home build.
Yeah, it's been a long road. We got this tiny home build started on Mother's Day of
Yes.
this year. So it was at mid-May.
Yeah.
It has been a very long road. So to have phase one of our grand plan here on the property completed, it's a big deal.
So I can't believe we're saying this, but for the last time, let's head inside and get to work on the tiny home.
Let's do it.
So I still can't believe that today is the day. At the end of all these months and weeks and days and hours of working on this tiny home, we are officially going to be done with it. We have an awesome little comfortable place that we can live while we build our home. And so it just feels really good to wrap this project up. I have learned so much, and Jeremy's been so patient with my lack of construction skills, but it's been really fun to just do this project together. So here we are back inside, and we are going to get to work for the very last time inside this tiny home before we can just live in it and enjoy it. The next step is going to be to attach this aluminum trim to the curb. We are doing this because this area is going to get a lot of foot traffic and we don't want these panels forced off. It also just gives it a nice finished trim and will give it an extra barrier of protection against any moisture that might splash out. Before we start attaching that aluminum trim, I want to talk about my snack belt choice of the day. I've been eating so many mint brussels that my stomach is kind of asking for some fruit and veggies. So we're trying one of those vegetable trays that you get at Christmas parties, only in my snack belt. I was gonna put some ranch in there, but I thought it'd get a little funky. So we went without the ranch and just instead added a Christmas lunch.
All right, Melissa, you're the former teacher. It's on you. 62 divided by 3. What do you got? Go. Think.
19.3. I don't know, 19 and something, right?
19 and change.
Yeah, and change. The next step in finishing the shower off is going to be adding a transitional trim piece from our shiplap walls to our vinyl plank shower. So we are using a laser level to get a nice straight line, and then Jeremy will be tracing it and cutting that out so we can place the transition piece.
Call it off and take me off this lonely track. All my worries of yesterday, I can't seem to get away.
This bill is brought to you by Melissa's Junky Little Hammer. If you can do it by hand, you can also do it with Melissa's Junky Little Hammer.
Turning blue, I thought you could see it too. Through our hands it slipped away. We were never here to stay. We were so wild and free.
Could you want a treat?
We were just kids in love. I gave you the best.
Good for you. Eat it. Eat it. There you go.
Tastes like a baby tree.
Asking of you was to never.
It's good for you. Just eat it. Here, Kenji, you can have them. Since you like them so much.
Every night I spent with you, hoping you could feel it too. Don't you ever paint it black. We are never coming back. We were so wild and free. We were just kids in love. I gave you the best of me, and all I was asking of you was to never break it.
I also want to mention, since our last video, we went over the silicone that we had done on there with the product that we actually used on the floor. It's 100% mold resistant, waterproof silicone grout. It was just a lot more heavy duty when we used it on the floor, and so we decided that we wanted to use that on the bench in the corners as well. So now we've got twice the protection on there. It's just a lot thicker and hopefully does the job a little bit better. Jeremy is inside cutting a few more pieces of trim, so there's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about real quick, and that is homeowner insurance. Now that our tiny home is almost done, we want to make sure that we're protecting our investment. When I started calling insurance companies, I was getting turned down because, well, we live in a barn in a tiny home that we built ourselves. So either the price was really high or they told me no altogether. And I really didn't have time to call every single insurance agency out there. So instead, I went to policygenius.com, and they were able to compare all of the top companies and get us the best coverage at the best price.
Because Policy Genius is an independent broker, they fight for you, not the insurance company, and they'll never sell your information. Just answer a few questions about yourself and your property, and Policy Genius will help you shop. Once you find the right policy, they'll help at every step to get you covered at no extra cost to you.
Policy Genius has saved their home and auto customers an average of $1,000 a year by reshopping their insurance coverage. Policy Genius also offers life insurance, so go check out policygenius.com/goodsimpleliving to shop the market and start saving today.
We want to thank Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video, but right now we're going to get back to the bill.
Let's do it.
Here you go. How's the game? Come on. Come on, get up there.
I'm only 5'9", Jeremy.
Melissa, we talked about this. I thought you were going to switch to an all veggie diet. No more cookies, no more snacks.
Hey,
Yes.
we gonna get done today?
Yes, we are. As soon as we're done impregnating our shower.
No, Jeremy, no impregnation.
It says 511 impregnator, Melissa. It's clearly stated right there on the label. Okay, it's time to seal our shower pan, grout, and tile. We're going to be using this 511 impregnator sealer. We're going to be taking the contents of this bottle and pouring it out into this empty Danish butter cookie container. Thanks for taking care of that for us, Mama. Anyway, once we have all that in our container, we'll take a paintbrush and we will get the actual sealant down on our tile and grout. Give it a few minutes to cure, set up before taking a towel to it, a microfiber cloth, and wiping up all the excess.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always do. Hold my hand and look me in the eye so I can tell you how I feel. Tell you how.
So when we mixed this grout, it was a lot darker than we thought. We originally wanted a really light color. And then when we put the darker grout in, we really loved how it looked. But then when it dried really light. So as I'm putting this impregnator sealer on, I'm seeing the grout darken back up again. It's probably just because it's wet, but I am hoping that it brings out a little bit more of the grays and maybe keeps that grout a little bit darker, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. It definitely looks better darker.
Yeah, I do like that.
One of the biggest benefits to doing projects like this shower here in the tiny home has been that Melissa and I are learning so many new skills and moving forward with the main house when it comes to the shower that we were planning to build in our master bathroom. We know for future reference that we like things like contrast between the grout and the tile. There have been so many positives to take away from this tiny home build and the fact that it's coming to an end. Looking back in retrospect, it's just been so hugely beneficial in so many ways, and I'm very excited for the future once we get work started on the main house.
And what you do
Time to wipe it off.
made me so crazy about you now. Now we can go anywhere you like and do anything you want, anything you want. 'Cause every day is something new. If I spend it with you, with you, with you. Oh, I want you right now. Oh, I need.
We got this from Magnolia Market, you know, Jeremy, all things Joanna Gaines. Gotta be Joanna. If it's not Joanna, he's like, no way. Not good enough.
My world is spinning round
Nobody believes you.
Everybody knows Jeremy.
now. My world is spinning round, round, round. And I want you now. And I
What are you doing there?
want you now. My world
I'm
is
lowering it to
spinning
your
round,
sound.
Oh, you.
round, round.
Man, it's nice and dark in here with the liner. It's romantic in here, Jeremy. Come in.
Round, round. And I want you now.
All right.
And
The
I want
first
you
stage
now.
of the finished shower is up. The shower curtain. It's starting to look like a bathroom. For all Jeremy's product, you know, deep hair conditioning, scalp exfoliator, things like that.
You were just full of lies today.
Squishy rugs. We got a nice white hamper. Hopefully the kids will actually use it. Jeremy, talking to you.
Hey.
Jeremy has a really bad habit of just placing all the things on the floor because he's going to wear them again.
And I usually do.
There's 5 pairs of pants on our floor.
Melissa, you made me throw away my last pair just because they were falling apart.
They were Daisy Dukes.
And you should appreciate that.
If you guys recall, we left a space under here so that we could access all of our plumbing in case there's ever an issue with it and just so we can check it periodically. And we will actually be making this a little bit bigger to make it easier to access it. And we've ordered a custom white grate that will be covering up this hole. So it is the one thing that will not be done today, only because it is coming in 3 days, but we will get that in. So that is why there is a big hole in our shower floor.
Standing on the door, I'm on my way. A million things I guess that I should say, but I am done. Yeah, I'm done. Letting go of all my heavy load. I waited for the moment to unfold. Nobody's gonna make me feel I'm going down.
When Melissa walks into the room. Giggity. We have 3 interior doorways in our little tiny home space, and this is basically the last thing we have to do, where we have different flooring materials. We're getting these transitions set up within the doorway threshold. So we'll go ahead and drill some holes with our hammer drill real quick. We'll get the track laid down with some concrete anchors, and then we'll get these things set in place. And at that point, we're essentially done with the tiny home.
Setting up a goal to grow from heart. It's all about to master who we are. Nobody's gonna make me feel I'm off the chart. Stand up and take it as I go. Stronger than ever.
All right, I'm gonna go outside and cut the last major piece that needs to be installed in the entire tiny house. We're gonna be done after this. Alrighty, just like that. That's how you build a tiny home right there. Woo! Alright guys, it's been a long road. It's been a full 7 months of actual work, but here we are. We made it. The tiny house is complete.
It is. This has been an incredible journey. When we got here, it was nothing but an empty barn, and we had no idea even where to start. We've never done anything like this before, so this was a big learning experience for sure.
Yeah, it really was. You know, it's hard to remember and comprehend everything that this build required of us. All the late nights, all the early mornings, the multiple trips to the hardware store, picking up everything it is we needed, sometimes getting the wrong stuff and then having to go back.
Yeah, and on top of that, we just weren't that comfortable. And we left all of the modern comforts that we all just take for granted every single day. I mean, we've always just switched on a light or turned on hot water, gone and taken a shower if you're dirty, and have a nice room or bed to go sleep in when you're tired. And when we got here, we didn't have any of that. We had to slowly gain back those normalcies. When we first got out here, we were getting our water unfiltered from a well using a generator, and Jeremy was hauling it in 6-gallon totes to be able to shower, do dishes. I was doing dishes out in a container outside. My washing machine was hooked up to a furniture dolly, and I was doing wash out in the middle of a field. And so just to be able to have an actual utility room and have hot water running from sinks and have a full-size shower that we can keep the water going while we shave. And
Luxury.
it is a luxury. It's stuff that you don't think about as a luxury when you've always had it. But then when you haven't had it for 8 months, especially with 4 kids in tow, these things are luxuries and we're very blessed to have them. And so
Yeah, I think because of that, we'll appreciate it that much more.
absolutely. We appreciate it so much. And when we showed up, we had a rip tent. Well, actually, up until a couple weeks ago, we had a rip tent and a bucket, and that was our bathroom.
It worked.
It did.
So we really want to thank you guys for following along on this journey. Having your support and encouragement along the way has truly meant a lot to us. We are ecstatic, like we said a couple of times, how to actually finally be here and what is a finished product. We have a comfortable living space to stay in, and now we get to move on to what's next.
Yeah, we have an entire house to build. So this was really just temporary housing and a really good learning experience going into our home build. So now we get to focus on the real fun. So we do hope you guys will follow us along on that journey, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Appreciate you guys. See ya.